Hello everybody, this is Jolt here from TheTokenMinorities, and I wanted to issue a big thanks to all of our 500 subscribers. We finally hit 500 subscribers, it's amazing. Thanks so much to you guys, we couldn't have done it without you, and you guys are the only reason we're still going with this. We love what we're doing, and it's so great to have people that support us along the way. Now, for those of you who have been with us for maybe since we had maybe 50 subscribers, 50 or 60, you would know that a lot has changed on TheTokenMinorities since that time. We started out with just having me, Vic, Panda, and Jeremy occasionally doing some gimmicky or maybe competitive Pokemon Black and White Wi-Fi battles. Now, since then, we've actually brought in about 5 more people with Styx, Flint, Ponyboy, Lizardon, and Bluesy, all of which are contributing a lot to the channel now. So we thought it would be a good idea to introduce you to all of us individually, each of us having our own individual video that will be used to, I guess, tell you a little bit about ourselves and then give our own personal top 10, which may or may not be Pokemon related. But you can be looking forward to all those. This video will be my introduction and my top 10, so I hope you enjoy. So as for a little bit about myself, I am the manager, editor, and director of TheTokenMinorities. I do have a lot of assistance from Vic, and gradually getting more assistance from other members of the channel, but as of now I'm probably considered the main editor and director of the channel. I'm the guy that's typically going to be answering your messages on YouTube. Whenever someone responds to you from the TokenMinorities account, that is most likely me. So if you like me, that's awesome. If you don't like me, then that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that, and I'm going to go cry tonight because of you. So for a little bit about my background as far as Pokemon is concerned, I've been a competitive Pokemon battler since the early stages of Generation 4. That's where I learned how to EV train and IV breed and all that fun stuff. It took a little while, of course, but I was a pretty well-respected battler on friendcodes.com. I don't know if any of you play on that website or ever have played on that website, but that's where I got my start. You can probably see my mark on a lot of the forums from about 2009, 2010, if you ever want to go take a look at some of my history. But that's where I played most of my Pokemon, and then I didn't play much in Generation 5. I didn't really enjoy how controlling weather conditions were on the metagame, and the permanent drizzle from that dang Politoed and the drought from the Ninetales. I just didn't fit my playstyle, and it wasn't really fun for me. But now with the nerf of weather, I'm back in Gen 6 doing competitive OU battling, and I'm starting to get into a little bit of UU and RU with the help of Styx. But yeah, I feel like it's going pretty well for me. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the OU metagame in Gen 6. As for other things I do, I am a rising Project M player. Maybe next year, whenever all the guys come back from summer, I might try to get into a Super Smash Bros. Project M tournament with Ponyboy. Now that'd be pretty cool because we're both becoming quite good at the game. Maybe we can get Panda to come along as well. He's pretty good as well. We'll try to post more Project M videos next year whenever we have everyone together again. So now, let's move on to my top 10.
Number 10.
In the number 10 spot is Wobbuffet. No surprise, right? Well, I didn't just pick him because of his status as our channel mascot. Most of the Pokemon on my top 10 are going to be in that position because of their viability in competitive play, regardless of what generation that may be, and I'll describe this as I go along. Now, in Gen 4, Wobbuffet was so broken that he was banned to Ubers, along with his counterpart, Wynot. Now, that is pretty crazy, isn't it? A guy that can just go in there and sit there, literally like this, and take any hit from you and then dish out a counter or mirror coat to OHKO you. That is impressive. I'm honestly surprised it's not getting as much respect in the later generations. Every time I've used it, I've gotten a kill with it. Sometimes two, just as Styx. He hates when I bring Wobbuffet, and it's hilarious.
Number 9.
In the 9 hole is Medicham. Medicham was totally underrated in Gen 4, which was so surprising. I used it on several OU teams. All you have to do is give it that adamant nature so it has max attack possible, max attack EVs, and then slap a Choice Scarf on that thing, and you have something that has the power of a Choice Bander with the speed of a Choice Scarf user. That is virtually unmatched, especially in Gen 4. It was able to break through walls like Swampert, very common lead, very common wall in Gen 4, and it was able to plow right through it. Now, Medicham did get a little bit of love in Gen 6, which makes me very happy with that addition of the Medichamite, the Mega Evolution. Just slap Fake Out on that thing, you're guaranteed to get up that Mega Evolution with that small speed boost, which is really all he needed. And now he's just a total monster, and I can't wait to use him on several Gen 6 teams.
Number 8.
In the 8th slot is Suicune. Yes, because of its totally broken moveset, Crocoon. Basically, if you're not familiar with what a Crocoon is, its moveset is typically Calm Mind, Scald, or Surf, depending on the generation, and then Rest and Sleep Talk, making for basically an invincible Pokemon as long as they don't have something that's completely immune to water types or doesn't have a really strong physical electric move, like Kyurem Black has now, which is very sad. Focusing on Gen 4, it was an absolute monster. People had to be prepared for it. On every team I made, I always packed either Crocoon or a Swampert and Celebi to try to take it out. Celebi because it had Perish Song, and Swampert because it had Roar. You had to have a phaser to get rid of Crocoon, otherwise it was going to go right through your team.
Number 7.
In the 7th position is Garchomp. Garchomp is quick, strong, looks awesome, and quite frankly it was so good back in Gen 4 when it was first released that it got banned to Ubers. Why? Sand Fail. Permanent Sand in Gen 4 made Garchomp so good that it was not allowed for competitive play. It was able to sit behind a substitute and hope your opponent misses, and if they did miss, get up a Swords Dance, and what happens then is going to sweep your whole team. Garchomp has always been super powerful, and now that it's actually playable in standard OU tiers in Gen 5 and Gen 6, it's still wrecking things. And with the addition of its Mega Evolution in the Sand, having the Sand Force ability, wow. It easily 2-hit KOs a max defense Blissey. And if you don't think that's impressive, you should see what other physical attacks do to Blissey. He's powerful.
Number 6.
In the 6th slot is Heatran. Heatran is one of the most versatile Pokemon there is. You can run a Choice Specs, Choice Scarf, Air Balloon, Leftovers as a special wall. You can make it a utility Pokemon with Roar, Stealth Rock, Torment, Taunt, whatever you want to do. Even in Alphabet Mons, it's a monster because you can give it huge power and give it Heat Crash for an awesome physical hit. Furthermore, Heatran is a perfect counter to the biggest threat in the OU metagame, Talonflame. Talonflame cannot touch a Heatran, regardless of if it's defensive or an offensive variant. Furthermore, Heatran is a Ginger. We Gingers have to stick together.
Number 5.
In the 5th slot is Jolteon. Now, contrary to popular belief, my name Jolt was not derived from Jolteon. It was actually derived from my interest in electricity. However, Jolteon is still my favorite electric type. It is really quick, it has a very high base special attack and speed, and is able to plow through really anything that's not prepared for it. Plus, at least in earlier generations before the nerf of the Hidden Powers, Hidden Power Grass and Ice was really effective against Pokemon that were able to resist Thunderbolt. Looking at you, Garchomp, and you, Swampert.
Number 4.
In the 4th slot is the lone Gen 6 Pokemon to make my list, Aegislash. Aegislash has fantastic typing with Steel Ghost. If it were Gen 5 it'd be even better, but in Gen 6 it's still a really solid typing, especially for most of the threats in today's metagame. Furthermore, it has a fantastic ability and stance change and great stat distribution to go along with it. So Aegislash makes for the perfect dual threat. It can be a defensive threat or an offensive threat. It could be special or physical with access to Sacred Sword, Iron Head, Flash Cannon, Shadow Ball, Shadow Sneak for priority. It can even run a great Toxic Stall set. Overall, Aegislash is a nightmare to predict around, and every team has to be prepared for it.
Number 3.
In the 3rd slot is my favorite starter Pokemon ever, Swampert. Well, Mudkip, but Swampert. Swampert snagged a spot on every OU team I made in Gen 4. It had just enough bulk and just enough power and just enough utility to be perfect on every team I made. Swampert has access to Roar, Stealth Rock, Ice Beam, a powerful Earthquake, and only one weakness. Wow. Oh, by the way, I heard you like Mudkips.
Number 2.
In the number 2 slot is Dragonite. Dragonite is by far the dragon that's received the most love from Nintendo. In Generation 4, although it was before the multi-scale era, Dragonite still made for a perfect anti-lead, with access to moves like Extreme Speed, Draco Meteor, Outrage, things that can just plow through an unsuspecting opponent. In Gen 5, Dragonite got new toys like Multi-Scale, which made it such a monster it's ridiculous. Multiscale is by far the best defensive ability in the game, and Dragonite uses it quite well. In Gen 6, Dragonite's able to start spamming his Dragon Dance sets and weakness policy sets with access to moves like Iron Head to completely eliminate the fairy types that were intended to counter dragons, not Dragonite folks. Now before I move on to my number 1 slot, let's list some honorable mentions. First, Delibird. Terrible typing, terrible moveset, terrible stats, but hey, he's a pretty cool little dude anyways. Plus, he's hilarious in the anime. Definitely watch that episode if you can. A second honorable mention is Mewtwo. Mewtwo slid into my honorable mention slot because he has been an Uber in all generations, and I'm not a huge fan of playing in the Uber's metagame. However, Mewtwo is still a monster, and always has been a monster since Gen 1. And Game Freak, why did Mewtwo get 2 Mega Evolutions? He didn't need any. He's still one of the most powerful Ubers, and always will be.
Number 1.
And for my number 1 slot, Celebi. Celebi is my Gen 4 baby. I still wish I could use it in Gen 6, however its typing just isn't cutting it right now, with Talonflame and the Megazards being everywhere. Because of its fantastic defensive typing, it was a perfect Leech Seed supporter for any bulky Gen 4 OU team. It switched in well against Lucario, the most dangerous physical sweeper in Gen 4, and plus, after gaining access to Nasty Plot, he became a fantastic offensive threat, tossing out powerful Psychics, Earth Powers, Hidden Power Fires on those pesky Scizors, and powerful Grass moves. In Pokemon the 4th movie, Celebi displays its power as literally being invincible. It calls back Celebis from the future and past to ensure it's never in real danger. It died in the movie and came back to life. That's power, folks. Plus, he's the only poke in the anime that can compete with Pikachu in a cuteness contest. That's pretty impressive too. Celebi is definitely deserving of my number 1. I hope you enjoyed my top 10 Pokemon. Even if you don't agree with my top 10, please do remember that my opinions are my opinions, and I hope you will respect that. Regardless, please do let us know what you think. Please make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to us if you haven't already. We'd love to have more subscribers. Hitting that 500 subscriber milestone is really important to us, but you know it'd be even better? 600, 700, 1,000. It's up to you guys. We keep doing this as long as you enjoy it. Please do make sure to stay tuned for the rest of our top 10s, because trust me, they're going to be entertaining. I mean, Panda's doing one. You know that's going to be good. Alright guys, we'll see you next time.